You're listening to TalkSlamRadio.com. From our studios to the world, we bring you the finest in quality entertainment. So grab a beverage, put out the Do Not Disturb sign, and settle in for another fine show from TalkSlamRadio.com.
Good evening, everybody. How you doing?
Hello, hello. How are you guys doing tonight?
We're great. Were you sleeping when the guy just gave us the countdown and you were over here looking at Chip? What's going on, girl? Thank you for jumping in right now.
I think what's happened is my night quill that I took before it was setting in here. I'm like ready to
you know what? You had a blonde moment.
I did
That's
have
what
a
happened.
blonde moment. I have a
moment.
lot of those, Jimmy. I have a lot of those blonde moments.
I was waiting for you to say something. I better say one.
Chip, thank you for jumping in.
I know. I was looking at Jennifer over there with her headphones on. I got sidetracked. I did. I had a major blonde moment.
I know you got some special guests coming on shortly, but listen, we just wanted to barge in here real quick. First of all, thank you for last week letting us on. We had so many phone calls last week.
I know, we did. It was a great show. Everyone loved the show. So thank you guys both.
I even had people from Newcastle area.
They watched it?
Yeah, they watched the show.
She doesn't know where Newcastle is. She thinks you were talking about White Castle, the restaurant.
Hey, before you do it, you got to tell them about the show tonight, the phone number. Where the hell's the phone number?
It is 727
597-4022.
There you go. And everyone, you have to call in tonight because we have two very special guests tonight.
Who are they going to be? Tell me before we leave.
It is Demetra and Jennifer.
And what do they do?
These girls are dominatrix.
Wow! Unbelievable!
Dominatrix.
Holy
and it
moly.
has been quite an interesting conversation with both of them prior to the show over at Basque. And I want to thank Basque for having us over there
very
tonight.
Nice
That is a really nice place, wasn't it?
It's good.
What did you have to eat, Dee? Go ahead, tell me. Come on, let's go ahead. Roll out the menu. Go ahead.
I had some little beef things.
Another blonde moment. Another blonde moment. Oh, gosh.
What was it? What you told me not to eat.
I told you don't eat it. I saw in the USA paper, don't eat peanut butter right now because salmonella's in it. And what you were talking about eating a while ago, that was on the script too. But I said, don't do it. You'll probably be sick before the show's over. That's okay. Go ahead.
I've already been sick for a week, but it was delicious. Whatever it was delicious.
Look, but we don't want to kill your time. We want to make a very special announcement. Even the producer of the show doesn't even know this yet, but we're going to tell him later on. He's in shock now. He's rolling his eyes going,
his eyes are like saucers right now.
Well, I got to tell you.
He's taking his shirt off.
Oh, my God. Put it back on. For God's sakes, put it back. No, we love this guy.
Nolan, you got to love him with his studio there. He's beautiful.
He is awesome. But let me just tell you real quick. Chipper has been writing a book, working on a book, which is great. It's called Wake Up Call.
It's called The Road to Wakwin.
Okay, Road to Wakwin, which is
Wakwin,
which means wake up call. In life, and in life, everybody's had a wake up call sooner or later. You might win the lotto tomorrow. I wish I could win it tomorrow, and if I did, I'd have a wake up call, major wake up call.
It's about 400 million right now.
425.
Is that what it's?
I played it. You
I'm
need to
cashing
play
out
tonight. It's 500.
Oh my
God! Could you imagine? Wow.
But in life, everybody has a wake up call, in their life, and so Chip was kind of throwing some ideas around, and I said, Chip, you know what? We had so much fun on the show that Dee was doing, and Steph wasn't here, and I said, what if we maybe got some time and put a show together called Wake Up Call, and let's just kind of search out for some people in their lifetime has really had some wake-up calls. And he goes, well, Jimmy, if we do it, I promised Dee and Steph that they would always be part of something. I said, we'll let them be producers because let me tell you who we've got that's going to help host this with us.
Who?
There's this cute little girl named the Cat. And you know who the Cat is, right, big man?
Yeah.
You know it. But we thought because we love blondes, but y'all
Right.
are on a show already, so we don't
Right.
want to expose y'all too much on it.
Right.
But we thought we might put Kat right in the middle and change the set around and put some couches and stuff in here and have a lot of guests on that have had wake-up calls in their life.
Right.
And but don't panic, because it's still a little production part for you and Steph, of course, D and Steph Productions. And Chip told me, he said, we got to bring them in. And I said, why? And he goes, okay. I said, whatever you want, boss, we'll do it. But it's probably going to be.
Why
worked
does
on-
everybody say to me? For
Because-
some reason, I'm like the nicest guy in the world. I mean, I
Oh,
don't know.
please. He's the
Wouldn't hurt a
Don.
fly.
Hey, he's got the Godfather jacket and the shirt on. He had me even put a coat on tonight with my shirt.
With your kid shirt.
I know. But to just let you know, you got great guests coming on shortly, but it's going to probably take place after the first of the year after we talk to the producer, but it's going to be called Wake Up Call.
Okay, perfect.
Kat, Chip, and myself, we're going to be part of the show, and hopefully we're going to kick it off. We'll tell everybody more about it later on, but thank
Okay.
you for letting us on this week.
Perfect.
I know you got your
Absolutely.
guests coming on. I think we're going to take a short break right now. We can go to a
Absolutely.
break, and your guests will be right back up. Thank
you. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you.
In a room without doors, I sit on the floor and meditate. I quit all my jobs, I live like a snob and masturbate. You wanna reconcile, you go the extra mile to drive me away. Go away, you're what I hate. You need therapy. I see you in mourning. I had all the warnings to run away. I lived in a slumber. I can't help but wonder why I forgave. You say that I'm to blame 'cause I retaliate when you lash out at me. Just let me be. I haven't slept in weeks.
Hello, everyone. We are back, and I have my guest on tonight. This is the beautiful Jennifer over here to my right, and this is Demetra over here to my left. And Demetra, you're quite a very interesting lady. I read your book, Men Don't Cry, and
Men can't cry.
Men Can't Cry. I'm sorry. But it was quite interesting reading. And I need for you to tell us a little bit about what it is exactly that you do.
I dominate men. I tie them up and I abuse them. And they like it. And did you know most men can't cry unless they get abused and beaten?
And
And-
why is, I mean, is it because you feel that they're just insensitive, or what? Why would you feel
No,
that
they need
can't?
the release to cry. Like, did you ever cry and you felt that you have a release, or you have a major, almost like a healing, something going on when you cry and you get kind of healed through it? Because my grandmother always told me tears are medicine. And I feel that every time, like if I cry, it's a really, healthy thing, and it cleans out it's actually good for the immune system, tears. And they've been conditioned since little boys to be strong and to be the macho guy and to dominate women. But when they do cry, they feel something they can never have otherwise. It's like this release, the emotional release, basically.
Now, your book, okay, with your book, you also have you have two other books as well. And tell us the name of those.
The books are Confessions of a High-Priced Call Girl, which I wrote first, and it developed into Secret Confessions of a High-Priced Call Girl. And I just started to be a writer. It was actually after Katrina. Katrina made me want to be a writer because After Katrina, the next day I saw dead people floating on the water in the United States of America. And it was something, I thought I was pinching myself the whole time. I thought it wasn't real because this is the United States. And if I would have been in it, nobody would have ever read my story. So I wanted to leave my story, and the next day, literally after Katrina.
So that's, well, at least that gave you some inspiration to be able to write. Now, let me ask this. Okay, so after reading your book, there's the one part that was very interesting to me is about wrapping the guy up in saran wrap.
Erotic asphyxiation.
Yeah. Is that, I mean, I know that goes on, and I know, and each to their own, but in the way that it read, it was like that guy was right at the edge. I mean, his life is in your hands at that point.
It's much, much more common than you think. It's
Really?
really common. And the fact is that when you're choked out of air and when you are suffering air deprivation, men at least, I don't know about women, but men get more aroused. And that's a known fact. When they used to hang people, they always had an erection.
Really? I've never even heard of that. Now, Jennifer was telling me while we were over at Bassanite that she had a boyfriend that used to wear her panties and her dress, and that all her boyfriends wore her panties.
Yeah, it was never a big deal.
It was like normal.
Yeah, I never knew it was anything until Demetra mentioned it, and I was like, "That's common. Everyone does that."
I mean, I don't know. I've never had a man to wear
Did you
my pants.
ask?
No. I mean,
Did you tell him to?
no.
You should have. He would have.
To just force him to wear my panties.
It's not forcing if he agrees.
That's true. I mean, I guess I never thought about.
Well, you know what's
asking
so
them.
funny, Dee? The night that I got your message on Facebook, I was researching the same old thing I always research, fetishes. And there was a big article from a mainstream paper called The Guardian in the UK. It's read by millions, tens of millions of people. So now the scientists say fetishes are actually healthy, which they never said that before. But 20 million people bought 50 Shades of Grey, so they can't make all these people feel like they're a bunch of perverts anymore. So the scientists now are actually looking into it more. Now they're saying it's actually a healthy
But
thing.
how do they feel that it's healthy? I mean, some of it sounds like. Some people would think it was
Yes.
abuse. So how are they determining
No.
that it's healthy?
Well, you're playing out a lot of stuff from childhood. If you remember back, I mean, you're grown up now, but do you still remember a part of you, right? That is still the same when you were 4 years old. I'm sure if you really take your time to know yourself, you will always be in touch with that part of your personality that's always the same since you were little. And we played a lot of games when we were little. And those things fascinated us even if we didn't get aroused by it, but they could arouse you now.
Now, do you find that because reading with your book, it seems like the men that you came in contact with were high-powered men in high positions in life, okay, that were out here always telling other people what they need to do.
Oh, yeah,
Did you
nonstop.
find that those were a lot of your clientele as far as men in high positions?
Yeah, they learn from us. They actually go to the dominatrix or to the dungeon about once a month just to learn. Like for them, it's like training because the men I met, they have to be abusive. Have you ever heard the story of Steve Jobs, one of the most powerful men in the world? He makes everyone cry that ever worked for him. He made every one of these people cry. Well, the fact is that if you want to achieve any kind of success, economic success in this world, you really have to be a slave driver. I mean, in our language, it's called slaves. And in polite society, it's called something else. I don't know what it is called. But when you have 4,000 people under you and you have to treat them like slaves all day, it feels really good to give up all the control.
Because you're giving up that, it's just, it's.
You learn also how I do it. For example, I'm only 5'2". I had a banker who was 6'2". dressed in a $5,000 suit and very powerful, and 4,000 people would never be able to tell him, take off your clothes, you asshole, you're a pervert, you suck, you're ugly, you have a small penis. I was the only one to be able to tell him that. And, these are not bad people, because you think someone like Steve Jobs is a bad person because he treats people bad. He's not a bad person. It's just the way how you train people to do what you want them to do, and that's domination. Get somebody to do what you want them to do. You're not a bad person, but at the same time, they do get tips from us how to do it.
Now, the place that you worked at, which is in your book, is in Switzerland.
Yeah, in Zurich.
In Zurich. And it was a house of strictly for dominatrix.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about that.
Zurich is just an amazing city. It's really, really international. People come and go from 500 countries all day long. You hear every language in the world. It's very tiny. It's super clean with all green energy, and the most amazing, the most people that are happening in the world go there. I don't know for what. For banking,
it's beautiful.
Probably.
It's actually beautiful there.
Yes.
I've been to Zurich. It's actually very beautiful there.
You've been
yes,
to Zurich.
I have. I went years ago, toured all over Europe, but Germany I really liked.
I couldn't stop eating.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I had
well, you
the
don't
best
look
time.
like you eat very much because you're very tiny.
Yeah. I ate and I actually lost weight when I was there, and when I came back, I gained weight with eating much less.
Well, tell
Can you
me,
believe
okay.
it?
So in your book, you said you have a madam. So the madam was over all the girls. How many girls actually worked in this house?
Altogether,
Yeah.
at least 15. Not there all the time at the same time, but about 15 that I met.
And then you would see how many men a day?
Maybe one or two. That's all you need because the fees are so high that,
So if a guy were to come in and see you, is that an hour? Is that an hour session?
Well, I had
or-
an hour minimum, but I did a 5-hour session.
Oh my goodness! Now, per hour? How much would they pay to come in to see
$1,000
you?
for the first hour, and
Wow.
then each additional you can negotiate your own thing.
And then
Usually 500 minimum.
Wow. So, and everyone was different. Is there a difference between? I guess with a fetish would not be considered S&M or
Oh yeah,
it's all the same.
Yeah, sadomasochism comes from Marquis de Sade. He was an author. He was a nobleman in France.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where S&M comes from. Masoch, I haven't read his book, but I've read Marquis de Sade's book.
Mm-hmm.
But Masoch was the opposite of sadism. So the dominatrix is a sadist.
Wow.
That's somebody who likes to
interesting.
hurt people. And the masochist is somebody who likes the pain.
Wow. I know that at one there was, because I'm a business broker, and I had sold a business to a gentleman one time out of California, and he had bought a modeling lingerie studio here, and my partner actually, when he decided to go back to California, decided to purchase the lingerie, and it was set up like a dungeon. And I happened to go there one day, and it was quite interesting.
And you didn't know what to do with the things hanging from the ceiling, or?
Well, they had a dungeon room, and it was all all of that was very new to me.
We call it truss 'em up like a turkey from the ceiling.
Hang them like a turkey from the ceiling.
Truss.
And then so then you said that there's a guy in there that they would come in and just drink urine.
Oh yeah, that's huge.
And that's I guess that's really like a big thing.
It's really big, and poop is big too. But I've never done it.
Well, no,
So.
the reason I know about that is because that one particular day I had gone to her place, and there was a gentleman there, and the girls were in the back picking up dog poop, and I was like, what in the world are you doing? And they said, we have a client coming in and that wants that. So that was, they had told me some stories. So there are a lot of different things out there.
Well, but when you were 6 years old, you must have played those games. I can't imagine not. I mean, where I grew up, everybody was into doctor's games. When we were little, 6 years old, We all played perverted games, didn't you?
Honestly, no. You know why? Because I was raised in the South, and it was such a strict
I
environment.
said religion and
It was Southern Baptist, and it was such a strict environment that I was not. I mean, to each their own. I'm not against any of it.
when you were a little girl, you never played doctor with a little boy when you were 5 or 6.
No, because in my household,
Wow.
with my father,
You missed
a boy was
out.
never allowed to be around me. And so I mean, but I know that it goes on, and I know, but it was never. Obviously, I missed out on a lot, right?
Well, you wouldn't be who you are. I mean, I wouldn't be who I am without my experience, and you wouldn't be who you are without your experiences.
I
But
mean, obviously, in life, I
I
definitely.
guess in Europe, it's a little. No.
Yeah, I
maybe.
definitely learned a lot in life. So okay, so let me ask Jennifer over here. Jennifer is your girlfriend.
She's my best friend.
Okay.
Yes.
You seem like a wild child.
Oh, so innocent. Totally.
Yeah. You seem So okay. You said you kind of dominate your boyfriends, but you're not
Yes, I
like a
have.
dominatrix.
Yeah, I didn't know it was a big deal. They've all done it. They all are okay with it every single time.
So what is it that you ask them to do?
I
Like
don't
in a
ask.
regular
I
you-
just say, "You want to wear my dress? How about wearing my dress? You want to wear my panties? Which ones do you want to wear? The white ones or the black ones?"
and
I let
then
them choose.
and then after they do this, I mean, is it something that you still respect him as a man?
No,
Okay, because I mean, men, they have this masculine persona.
it's just a little fantasy for them.
It's a fantasy. So, but if you were in a relationship with a guy who wanted to wear your dress and your panties,
Mm-hmm.
would you?
Have been.
Okay, but did you still look at him the same way?
No.
And why is that? If this is what you're like, if this is what you're into, why would it matter?
It doesn't matter. I let him think it was okay, and I told him it was okay, and he still acted the same way. He just,
You see, but it doesn't turn you on because it does turn me on.
yeah, because you have that power and that control over them.
So is it a matter of okay? So I'm just trying to get this straight in my head. You're in a relationship because you told me you had a boyfriend.
Yes, I did.
He was your fiance.
Yes,
And when in the relationship did
right away. He was
Okay.
okay with it. He brought it up to me, actually.
so once he put your dress and your panties on, then you lost.
It was fun.
Then it was just it
Fun.
was a fun thing. That
Yes.
Then you didn't look at him anymore
As
as
a boyfriend.
And how long did you still stay involved with him after that?
Just a few months.
So, because you made a very interesting statement that he wanted to send you pictures of
Yes.
himself.
Yes.
Can you tell
He
our
would say,
viewers what
well,
you
he would ask me, send me a picture of you. And I'd say, you go first. And he would send me a picture of his cock or something. And I'd say, oh, it's so small. Can you make it bigger? And he would.
and then
It was always bigger the next picture. I don't know what he was doing.
oh my god.
Maybe it was a before and after shot.
So, but then you said something to him about on the bottom of your shoe.
Oh, he said, you want me to send you a picture of my cock? And I was like, if I want to see a cock, I'll scrape one off the bottom of my stiletto.
So now, okay. So is there like a criteria when you for both of you guys when you go to I don't know, in my personal opinion, and I'm not a dominatrix, okay? So I'm just trying to go by what I would say. I would think that Demetra, for this lifestyle, okay, and you see these men who come in and they use your service, does it make you feel any different to go out here and get in a normal type of relationship with a man, let's say, that would not be into this lifestyle? Is it something different for you? Can you separate the two?
Well, you're talking about society, right? The accepted norm of society, and I think what you mean is it's one man and one woman, but I always wondered, we have 7 billion people in the world. How come we only have one form of accepted
Exactly.
cohabitation, you know? So I've always questioned that since I was 14 years old.
But I mean, would you, if you were to go out here, I guess what
I
I'm
want
trying
an
to-
open
can you-
relationship. It
okay.
doesn't matter what they like in bed. I want an open relationship. That's actually much harder to find than somebody
And
who
what
likes
do you
fetishes.
consider an open relationship?
I want to at least go to maybe a swingers club once a month with the person I'm with because I trust the person to be with me no matter who they have sex with.
Right.
So I just question the requirements, of monogamy,
Now, do you
That's-
find that there's some men that you would meet that would be intimidated by
Everybody.
who you are as a person?
Oh, yeah. That's why I'm single because I met people that are from all kinds of backgrounds and they seem open to a lot of things and they have kinky things. But when they get close to me and they know I want an open relationship, it's very intimidating.
It changes.
Mhm.
It changes.
Yeah, but I mean, the swinger scene is big, so I haven't actually gotten to the swinger scene, but I think I will.
Well, I would think that if we have a caller, we have a caller coming in. So
It's probably for Jennifer.
perfect. Perfect. We have a caller. Caller, you on the line?
Hello?
Hello. Hi.
Dee?
Who is?
Dee?
Yes.
It's Stephanie.
Oh my God, woman! How
What-
are you?
What the hell,
What
woman?
the hell? It's Steph.
I'm
my
calling from London.
Wow, girl, have you been watching us?
I used
Well,
to
I'm
live in
trying
London.
to. However, internet is a little difficult to get Ustream up over here. So I've been trying, so I decided to call. What the hell?
Oh my God!
So, how are you?
We're doing great here. I'm trying to ask the ladies here about the dominatrix. Do you have a question for either one of them that you could ask them?
Okay, I didn't get the whole gist of what the show is about, but they're both dominatrix. Is that what's going on?
Yes, they're both
Oh,
dominatrix,
oh.
and actually, Demetra has written a book, "Men Can't
Uh-huh.
Cry." Yay! Men Can't Cry. I got it. And
Men Can't Cry?
yes,
Is that what it's called?
It's called
Okay.
Men Can't Cry, and she was actually a dominatrix over in Switzerland. In a
Oh, my.
house with like 15 other ladies, and they catered to a high caliber of men in high positions. So
Wow.
I was asking questions, and her friend Jennifer over here on the right of me, she's just a dominatrix just to
fun.
for the fun of it. She just has fun. What the
What
hell?
the hell?
What the hell?
You're having all the fun without me. What the hell?
You'll love them. They'll have to come back on when you get here because you'll love these girls. So
Oh, absolutely.
come up with a question,
That's
woman.
great.
Come up with a question.
A question.
Have you read
Oh,
50 Shades of Grey?
yeah.
I have a question. Have you read 50 Shades of Grey that everybody's talking about?
I have not read it. You
You
know,
should- it's
I
really
haven't.
badly
I could
written.
probably write my own version, but no, I've not read it.
We were. I was talking tonight. I was telling them. I said one night. Steph said to me, "Dee, I think you're wilder than I am," and I was like, "What the hell are you talking about? What the hell?
Well,
There's no way.
I think it was the drinks talking that night.
I was like, there is no way. I'm like the conservative one here. But I'm so glad you called in, girl. I mean, we'll.
No, I did. I got a call and said, "Hey," to
Thank
my
you
my
so
girl
much.
Dee, and I'm having This has been, girl. Wait till I tell you. This has been the most unbelievable, amazing trip I've ever been on in my life. I think I'm on
so
what
glad.
fourth, fifth country right now,
Well,
and it's
Demetra
been
is
like the Amazing Race. We have taken every mode of transportation you possibly can imagine.
Oh wow!
So it's,
She's from. She lived over in Germany, so that Steph.
Oh, in
is-
Germany? Oh, I was in Hamburg. I was in Dusseldorf, and
Stuttgart?
Cologne, and
Not Stuttgart.
Brussels.
The home of Porsche and Mercedes is Stuttgart.
Yes, Porsche, Mercedes. Yes.
You went to Stuttgart.
She went to
then.
Amsterdam too.
I was in Amsterdam, Belgium.
She says she loves. Demetra says she
Paris.
loves.
I was in Paris. Yeah, yesterday was Paris,
Wow.
and then we're in London today.
Wow. Well, girl, I'm so glad you're having. Yeah, save it for
I
next
am.
week.
Are you feeling?
I save it all for next week when you come on the show. I am feeling better.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm jealous.
Feeling better?
Yes, I am feeling
I'm so
better. I'm
jealous.
still a little under the weather, but I'm doing good. Wouldn't have missed this show.
All right.
for the
Well, big
world.
hugs and big
Okay,
kisses. I miss
love
you. I
I
will
miss
see you.
Chip is over
I'll
here.
be
I got
back.
Chip.
My
And,
plane gets in 10:30 on Friday night. So.
oh, this Friday?
See you
Oh,
then.
I thought you were coming into
Yeah.
us. Oh, perfect. Well, I can't wait to see
No.
you. I've missed you. Thank you for calling
Yeah, I miss
in.
you too, darling.
Okay.
And have a great show. I can't wait to watch it, and hope it's going well for everybody. I'll
Thank
see you
you.
soon.
Thank you. Okay, we'll talk to you
All right.
later. Thank you for calling in.
All right.
Thank you.
Mhm,
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
That's you'll meet Steph whenever she gets back. Okay, so Jennifer, Miss Jennifer over here. So is Demetra? Is she teaching you how to be a dominatrix as a professional dominatrix?
Well, I'm not trying to do it professionally, but I have read both her books already.
Yeah. There's places around here in this area
Yes, they are.
that actually have dominatrix. Yeah, there's a facility that is, maybe Zane, that is like a bondage club or something. Yeah, there's some places around here that are
I
actual
knew
dungeons.
the one that was all of a sudden it disappeared, but it was a different club, and then it was a swingers club. But Friday night they had a fetish night, and then all of a sudden disappeared, and all of a sudden it appeared again, called Tampa Bay Bondage.com, I think. So I guess it's there again, but I've never. I went to the fetish con in Tampa. It was actually good, because all the women, they were pulling men by leashes around with them, and they were all masked. The men were all 6'5", and the
Oh,
women were
wow.
all 5 feet.
Wow.
It's always the tiny little,
Tiny
skinny
women.
little dominatrix with the big guy, and he's wearing a full-on, cover head to toe, and it's mind blowing. I mean,
Now-
I loved this little contrast of you're just reversing everything that's happening, in the world.
So let me ask this. Okay, as a dominatrix, if someone has their fetishes, are there people that they have just certain fetishes,
Mm-hmm.
or is it like just open game? You've got all kinds of fetishes.
Well, the new ones, the beginners,
Yeah.
you can experiment with them till they find out what they like. So it's kind of fun because you can kind of
Play
do
with
whatever
them.
you like. And then they get to know what they like. So I guess for them, it takes a few years before they know what they like.
So as a dominatrix, then you would, let's just say, instance, somebody has a foot fetish.
Right, right.
So
and
then
you do
you'll
whatever you
introduce
want.
them
Oh, yeah.
to other things
Yeah.
to see what
Yeah.
they're really into.
Because you're in control. You have to be always in control. You, from the minute they come in, I mean, you can ask questions, what do you like? And they go, I like I like foot fetish, and I like bondage, and I like a little pain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you take it from there. You try to see how much pain they want. You tie them up, and you just experiment more and more. And they can always use a safe word to stop, but you can bring other things in, because if somebody admits that they're a novice, you have a lot of freedom to introduce them to stuff that they've
Free
never seen
reign.
before.
Okay, now when you say novice, what does novice entail?
Someone will tell you right away that I'm a novice. I've only done this once. I've never done this, or I'm really into being tied up, but I've never done it.
So there,
So
a
I'm a
novice would be a
novice.
beginner.
Correct.
Okay. That's I've never heard that.
But you have more freedom
terminology.
with novices than with people that are experienced, because the ones that are experienced are very particular. Like they just
What they
want
want.
this, and you just have to do this, and that's it.
And so this the asphyxiation, is that really a big thing? I mean, when I was reading with your book for the asphyxiation with the one guy that came in, I mean, you had his mouth covered up, and then you're sitting on him, and you counted your 5 seconds. I mean,
I would have never done this. If somebody would have told me 5 minutes before the guy came in, oh, he's going to do asphyxiation, I would have never agreed, because all you read in the media is these people died, David Carradine died.
Mm-hmm.
On Wikipedia, you have 200 famous people that died from it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you read, but you don't read about the millions of other people that do it every single day. I mean, you have to
Don't
dig
die.
so deep you really have to dig deep. And it forced me to go. And after I did it because I had no choice. I didn't want to let down anybody. I had to do it.
But when you had him wrapped up, it didn't say that there was no way for him to be able to breathe. So
No, he
as
couldn't
you're
even
sitting
move.
on him,
He couldn't even move.
Yeah,
He
So
couldn't get out.
As you sat on him for the
5
5-second
seconds.
interval, then
He stopped breathing. He stopped
I mean, that would
breathing.
be completely. And then as you get off of him, there was still no air for him. To
Well,
really
no,
be-
he would gasp right away.
Mhm.
He gasped. There was a hole in the saran. It was a
Oh,
hole.
okay, there
he
was
would
a
gasp
hole.
right away violently. But that's the part of the thrill is this like
it.
hard breath that it's not easy to get air. And I would have never done it. I mean, if I would have known I would have to do it. I would never have done it. But I did it. So it took me like a long time afterwards to do a lot of research to see how really common it is from ancient times. You know, the internet's kind of tricky because they will filter out a lot of stuff that they don't want you to see. And so you have to go, spend a lot of time researching it. So it's not that perverted when the human brain doesn't have enough air. The male sex organs get more aroused because, for example, like his erections was harder than any I have ever seen in my life. So
Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. I've never thought about that. Now, let me ask you this: do you still do this? Are you retired? Are you still? Is this part of your lifestyle?
well, I'm retired, but I'm going back to Zurich.
You're going back to.
Well, I'm going to another place, actually, a famous German place. They
Mhm.
do something you'll love even more.
Oh my goodness!
Erotic waterboarding.
Erotic waterboarding.
Right.
Okay, can you explain that? I've
Like
never
the
heard of
ones
that.
they do at Guantanamo Bay,
Yeah.
which they got in trouble for it. And these people are, that's what they like. They want to be waterboarded, tortured, like waterboarded, where you
what-
feel like you're drowning.
Oh
The lady built a $20,000 tank to do it,
Mhm.
and she's really famous. So
And then what do you do to them? I mean, can you explain that?
she's
'Cause
the only one that
waterboarding-
can teach it because there are very few people in the world that can teach it.
So you actually when you go to these facilities, you're like in training mode.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so they're training you how to be a dominatrix. They're
Correct.
training you
Oh
how to
yeah.
be. Wow.
You have to train, for example, to be like a nurse to cut people and do. Europe's really regulated, so you actually get from the city certificates. You pass certain tests, and okay, you can inject somebody now. No,
Because they have also part of dominatrix is
It's-
from your book was that you have a medical
yeah,
dominatrix as
that's
well.
the next book. Yeah,
So
the
okay.
medical fetish. Yep.
So the medical fetish, what does that exactly entail? if a man
Everything
were to
from
come in?
cutting to shooting silicone into into the man's breasts so that they can be, they transform into transvestite at that moment.
And this is part of the dominatrix.
Correct. Yeah.
Wow, I've
you need
never
a lot-
even heard of this before.
Sissification,
Yes.
forced feminization.
Yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I mean, we're really the United States. We're very behind, aren't we?
Yes.
I mean, I've never even heard of this before. Honestly,
Wow. Okay.
I mean, not to go. I mean, not.
I'm
I mean,
gonna
you
write
hear-
something then just for
Well,
you about
because you know why you hear.
feminization.
I mean, I hear fetishes, I hear dominatrix, but I've never heard for people
forced
to go.
feminization.
Yeah, I mean,
Men
and
like that.
and then to go in and for
Shoot
the
silicone,
medical,
yeah.
to shoot
Sa-
silicone.
No,
to-
saline. I'm sorry, saline. Because after 2 days it goes away. So
Okay.
you can have boobs for 2 days.
You can have boobs for 2 days.
Are you going over there with her?
I want her to.
I wish I
Why?
could.
Why don't you?
I would.
Well, why? What's stopping
Maybe
you?
she
Nothing
will.
is stopping me.
I think you would probably do very well at it.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I'd be down like a clown.
Now let me ask you this: do you have to pay to go learn how to do this?
No.
So you pay your airfare over,
Mm.
and they put you up in a facility. Do they put
Yeah.
you up? And
It's
then-
very, very informal. Actually.
It's very, and then
because why it's so informal is a few weeks before you're communicating with them by email and everything. So that's
okay,
always
so
the
you
best
know
way
who
to
your
weed you
clients
out.
are gonna
Yeah.
be before prior to.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, I had no. I mean, I know it goes on, but obviously it's a much vast popularity in the European countries as opposed here to the United States.
I guess so. Probably.
Well, I would say Europe is a lot more open-minded.
Well, they're more accepting of it.
Yeah, than they are here.
I mean,
in
if
the
a
United
politician dressed, I think,
Like a
in
sissy.
high heels, nobody in Europe would even care about it, you know.
States.
I mean, it
but
wouldn't.
here it would be like
No, it wouldn't be a joke over there. Nobody would kind of say, "Oh my God, you know, did you see that?"
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
it would be.
Normal.
Like,
It's okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, here it's
Here they
you
want
know
to keep it a
it's
secret.
it's scandalous over here
Yes.
if you
I
do
know,
anything
but why
like that.
is it so scandalous? Why do people care?
Well,
what other
because
people
it's not normal here. I mean, it's kind of an underground, secretive type of
Yes.
lifestyle that is not in the open. The European people are a lot more open-minded about things.
That's right.
You know, you've got a lot of your Bible Belt
Yeah.
cities, and I'm the one. I was raised in a Bible Belt. I was the Southern Baptist all the way. If I were to sit and have this conversation with my mother, I
They
think
would
she would
freak
stroke
out.
out. I mean,
She would.
she would stroke out if I was trying to
So
explain
what
any of this
people
to her.
have you been hanging out with?
She would think I,
So we're
you
gonna
know, I
burn
was
in
possessed
hell, do
by
you think?
exactly. I would burn in hell and possessed by the devil or something. But
Jennifer, you
know.
think we're gonna burn in hell now?
No.
The way that I
Not
look
at
at
all.
it, each to their own. I don't go out here and knock anybody for any lifestyle. I really and truly don't. I'm very open-minded and liberated about, everything. And I'm always interested in what people do. And, my hat off to both of you for being able to have this lifestyle and be comfortable with it. You're very comfortable with it, which is fantastic. And you talk very openly about it. And it's, that's wonderful that you can do that and
Thank you.
be okay
Thanks
with
for
it.
having us on so we can talk about
Yeah,
it.
and you know what? Enlighten other people about because the way that you talk about it, Demetra, doesn't seem. You don't make it sound like it's you. You put actually a medical term into it, and you don't make it sound so like it's so taboo, but. I think if you can do it and you can handle it. My only thing would be is when you are with these men, psychologically, does it affect you in any way? In a negative way? If you do this day in and day out, does it have a psychological effect on
It's
you?
probably not possible to do it every day. I don't think you can do it every day like a regular job.
But can you go and do this and then lay down at nighttime and go to sleep without it affecting you in any psychological
and,
way?
and that's why I write, Dee. That's why I write. I mean, no matter what you do in your life, writing is a really good way to understand what you're actually doing. Because once you have to start writing something down, you understand it much better.
Right.
Even if you're a farmer or factory worker. Once you start writing down, Virginia Woolf said, I write because I want to know what I'm thinking.
Right.
And the worst thing about modern, like this fast life that we have with the fast society, the modern society, the tech society, is we don't stop to really think about what we feel. When you write, and if you can translate what you feel into words and understand it for yourself, no matter what you do. I mean, look at all these jobs. Look at the arms dealers, the drug dealers, the people that make poisonous things to poison our planet. Do they sleep well at night? I think I sleep a lot better.
Yeah. Well, I guess my thing is just thinking about this from a psychological standpoint, does it ever have a negative effect on you?
No, I needed it because my mother was very submissive, and our society, just like probably your Bible Belt, what you're talking about,
Right,
my society
right.
was like that. My immediate family was like that. The female is always inferior to the male.
Right,
And
right.
I had to really do something about that. And every time that I have a man that does what I say, or I can dominate him, I feel like I'm recovering from that
Mhm.
wrong upbringing.
So
Women are superior. They were always goddesses pre-Christianity, and it was beaten out of them by men.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, how do you know you're not a goddess? How do you know God is a man?
Right,
Why do you just take what they say? I mean, it's all written by men.
right, right.
I mean, I don't believe everything I hear.
Right. Well, do you feel that when you get into that lifestyle, do you feel that that lifestyle is, I mean, a lot of people have issues that they have gone through in childhood. Do you feel that that is a way of expressing yourself through things that could have happened to you in childhood issues?
Yeah, well, a little girl is supposed to be just pretty, wear a dress, and be nice, and the boys can run around and get dirty and be wild. And
Mhm.
didn't that bother you? I mean, it bothered me from day one.
Yeah, yeah.
When
No,
I was
I mean,
4.
yeah, I mean, this is what I'm saying. Everybody kind of, things can stem from a childhood issue, and you can, sometimes it does map out your life and what you do and what happens.
I
But-
wanted to run around and go get dirty with the boys right then,
Yes.
and they wouldn't let me. They wouldn't let me. So I can do it now.
So now you can do and tell them what to do.
That's
Well,
right.
you know what, girls, this has been very interesting, and I'll have to read your other book too
Yay.
about. So let me ask you this before we go off air. The life of a call girl. How did you started? You were very young, and what made you get into being a call girl?
Very, very, very naive. The book called The Happy Hooker.
The Happy Hooker.
Yeah, have you
I
read
remember
it?
that.
I
It's
have.
so good.
You know what? One of my girlfriends had read it, and she had told me about the Happy Hooker.
And I had to read it in secret, and it was so exciting. I thought, I'm gonna do the same thing.
I'm gonna
And you
do
were
that.
in New York City, and you were.
And I met some really high-profile people right away, and
Yeah.
it's just so
Yes.
easy to get sucked in,
Yeah.
lifestyle.
Is
So-
it the money?
It was totally the money, and it was also wherever these people went, they had like 20 followers, and
Right.
so they had a power,
Mm-hmm.
and
An entourage of people.
an
Yeah.
entourage of people,
Yeah.
and it just I never fitted the image of marrying one of them, or I had them offer, but
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to go deeper and explore maybe some artistic things I could do.
Now, did you work for an agency that got the clients for you?
Oh, yeah.
And
A big one.
Yeah, and I'm sure it was probably. I mean, years ago, I used to own a modeling agency, and it was, and I travel back and forth to New York a lot, and you'd be surprised at a lot of the things that go on, how some of the girls that are beautiful models get caught up into, this other lifestyle with very high-powered people, and like you said, before you know it, you're caught up into.
Oh yeah.
It's a very easy lifestyle to get involved in.
Yeah. I mean, think of yourself as all of a sudden you have all these people offering you a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, who would say no? I mean, that's what we're brought up to think of, right?
Yeah.
In the world.
yeah. I mean, it's easy when you've got it, and even some of the models, it's they're trying to become famous, and they've got their bills, and all of a sudden, if someone's offering you $5,000, next thing you know, you're wrapped up.
It's just so weird what these people offer you money for in New
Yeah.
York.
Yeah.
They will offer you money for the weirdest.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but it's anywhere. It just depends on what city I think that that you're in. But
Yeah.
it comes down to hey, you've lived a very fascinating lifestyle, and you still live a very fascinating lifestyle.
And I survived.
And you're surviving.
That's
and you know
the magic.
what? The thing about it is that there are probably many more books ahead that you need to write.
Oh yeah, you read the one Men Can't Cry. That's only part 1 of 4.
Yeah.
So you saw the little cliffhanger in the back?
Yes, I did. and another one that I was very shocked by was the guy who wanted you to put poison ivy on his private.
I know.
Can you just
Because
tell?
what is the famous
poison
thing?
Ivy on his
Poison
private.
Ivy. It's like a famous cartoon character in America, right? Isn't it a famous? What is that? Who is that? An
She's
Iron
a
Man
comic
or?
book character.
Isn't she famous?
Yeah.
Whoa, this is
Poison
where it
Ivy
came
was
from.
a comic book
okay,
character.
yeah.
I think it came from the actual fetish.
Is that where it came?
I think so. They just had to make it more Disney-like, They had to make it.
I mean, that guy
kid-friendly.
had to be in serious pain
Of
for you to
course.
put poison ivy
Have you
leaves
ever had
on-
poison ivy?
I've had poison ivy.
That
and
doesn't
it's
go away in a
painful.
day.
No, it doesn't go away in a day.
So
when,
he could only like it for a day, for a minute.
I mean, are these men married? Because I would
Yeah,
be
most
thinking
of
if
them
my
are,
husband
yes.
came
Yeah,
home
Most of
with
them, yeah.
poison ivy on his private
He's
part,
gonna lie
But
and
hey,
say he was
the
working
wife
in the
does
yard.
never touch them or look at them.
Yeah,
Never.
that's why they come there.
so that's because they can get
The
a
wives never look at them. So
they can be eat up with poison ivy. And
Yeah, they don't care.
itching and
She's
scratching.
probably-
Jennifer, by the way, she's my next character, my next book.
Yeah, I think you could be
Yeah.
quite a character girl. I think you're quite interesting there.
Thank you.
You know, the two of you together in Europe.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'll have to translate. You have to pay me a lot of money to translate.
It's do all the because all the men speak.
No, the men all speak English. But
Oh, they
the
do?
women, even if they would speak English, you know how they are in Europe.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
refuse.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They're just like, no, you come to our country, you speak German.
This language.
They would know that she's from the South.
Definitely.
They would love her.
For sure.
You would
2
go
minutes
good.
would
Well,
do
we've got 2 minutes. We want to thank you girls so much for coming
you
on the
for
show.
No,
having
thank
us.
you. It was so much
We
fun.
will have to have you back on when Steph is in town because she
Yes.
would love to, be able to talk to the two of you. And we also want to thank our sponsors to Trim Nutrition, Rekla, and the Zone Lounge, and Walkwin Productions. We want to say always thanks to CEO for taking such good care of us girls. He always watches out for us. And thank you, Jimmy Hart, for coming on tonight, too. Thank you. And you know what? I can't wait for you guys' new show. That's going to be fantastic. Wuckwin. And it's an interesting story, and that'll be another time for Chip, how he came up with that name. But thank everyone for listening tonight. Zane, thank you for all the fantastic pictures.
Yeah, thank
and
you.
how can anybody, because people were asking about, Dimitri, where can they go to find your book?
It's on Amazon.
Okay.
And it's called Men Can't Cry.
Okay.
And if you type into the Kindle store, the Kindle ebook, Men Can't Cry, and Dimitra, you should get it. And obviously, I need to do more promotion, marketing, so more stores will have it. Maybe a print book. It's just started. It's just the very beginning. So.
Perfect. Well, good night, everyone. Jennifer, thank you,
Thank you for
darling.
having
Demetra,
me.
thank you very much. Good night, and thank you, everyone, for
Good
listening.
night.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Like a blizzard. When we drink, we do it right.